What's going on, everyone? Scott here. Welcome back to the channel. So, Survivor Season 47, Episode 6 recap is here, coming off a very eventful tribal council where we saw a big time blindsided Annika getting voted out. So, before we jump into the recap for this episode, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down there for more Survivor content throughout the season. We're about at the halfway point right now, so make sure you're tuned in and subscribed so you don't miss an episode going forward or any recaps. So after Tribal, we come back to camp, and Andy is very happy with how the Tribal went, obviously getting Annika out, as we mentioned. Now, essentially, it seems like Rachel is on the bottom. She said she's not mad, she's just confused as to why she was left out of the vote. Sam ended up not playing his idol, as he kind of mentioned at the end of last episode, because Andy didn't know that he had the idol and didn't want to lose trust in that relationship and that alliance. So he's hoping to use it down the line as kind of a decoy or a fake, possibly. Then the next morning, boats show up to all three camps with a note, and it says, Day 11, the game is about to change. Rachel is obviously hoping to use this to help her after last night being left out of the vote, hoping to find some new avenues to move forward in the game. Everyone drops their buffs and heads to their new home. They're going to the blue camp, and Sue is worried that they're going to go through her bags and their bags as a whole, and she needs to clean her idol. If you remember from, gosh, what was that, episode 2, maybe 3, where she found the hidden immunity idol, but it fell down from that vase and there was red paint all over the vase, so she was kind of caught red-handed. She tried to wash it all off, and I believe it was Caroline and Tiana saw her at the well with red on her. It was like, are you bleeding? Like, what's going on? But so apparently she just shoved the idol back in one of the things that the idol came in and put it in her bag. So she wants to clean that off before they come in case anyone does look in her bag. Tiana is walking up the beach after everyone gets there, and there's a sign that says read with everyone. Basically, it says that tomorrow there will be a challenge, and hidden somewhere on this camp is an advantage that will help you. Be the first to find it. Go. Everyone kind of looks around, and then they all finally do take off. Sam and Genevieve walking around, and they see a buoy out in the water by a rock, and Sam's like, I've seen a bunch of them out there. And they kind of turn around, walk away, and then as soon as the camera kind of zooms in on it, you're like, oh, okay, it's probably there. So then you're curious who's going to walk by and see it. Everyone is kind of just chatting after a while, it seems like. Obviously, we don't know the exact timeline of everything, but after a while, everyone's kind of just chatting, catching up, trying to build relationships. A group of people see red paint everywhere by the well, and this is obviously from, as we talked about, Sue's idol and her going over there trying to clean it off. And they actually kind of start digging around, and they actually find the whole pot that the idol came out of. Caroline remembers Sue at the water well when they thought she was bleeding earlier on, and she says that she'll keep her secret because she's obviously close with her and a close ally in this game. Genevieve goes back to check that buoy because it was kind of bothering her. She goes out to the water, and of course, it's there, the advantage, and it's like, and Sam is like, really, we were right there? Like, come on, even if you see something like out of place like that, you gotta go check it, Sam. Come on now. The advantage will be revealed at the challenge. And then Tiana says that she does remember Sue covered in red stuff. So we see her brain and the wheels kind of churning now. Caroline tells Sue that, she figured it out, that she found the idol, and, she'll keep her secret, everything. Sue feels, though, that Tiana knows, which she does worry about, that she'll, kind of be flip-flopping, and, but she said she's willing to chop off the head of the snake to save herself. So clearly willing to cut ties there if need be. Roman Kyle apparently talked during the night, and he said that, and Kyle said that Sam is the person that could win this game easily, and that Tiana could win as well. A couple big threats. Also said that Caroline and Sue were kind of like a mother-daughter duo, and let a lot of stuff fly, supposedly, according to Rome. But Rome tells Sue about Kyle talking about her and Caroline, and now Sue wants him as the first target. He then turns around and tells Sam and Tiana as well that he mentioned their names. So he's doing a very good job of stirring the pot. Soul tells Tiana and Andy that that's what he does. He stirs the pot, and, he would totally make something like this up just to kind of cause chaos, basically. Soul tells Kyle that Rome was telling Tiana about being a big threat, and he's like, no, he completely twisted up my words. He didn't say that. Kyle goes to a group of people that I believe was standing over by the water well and says, I'll put it out there now. F Rome, basically. So it's like, all right, we're just letting it fly. Tells them he's twisting words out there about him saying something about Tiana, and then Sue says, well, he also came to me this morning and said you were talking about me and Caroline. And he's like, no, that's not true. I said that you were like a mother-daughter duo, which I guess you can see kind of as like a compliment, kind of like saying like kind of like earlier in the season when they thought that Sam and Sierra were a couple, and it's like, well, they know you have a close relationship. Mother and daughter relationship can be seen as a close relationship on the show as well. So it's like, is that really like okay? Um, but as of right now, it seems like they all want Rome out currently. At the challenge, they're going to divide into two teams of six. The winning team will earn a meal, but doesn't earn a spot in the merge just yet. The winning six of the first team portion move on to another challenge, which is for individual immunity. Plus, at the tribal council, instead of like the past couple seasons where at the merge they divide into teams and then the losing team will have someone there from that part of the tribe or part of the survivors go home, everyone is going to be available to go home. Now, Genevieve's advantage is to just move to the second part, the individual part, not have to compete in the first part. So she'll already get the food reward, and now she'll just have to compete in the individual immunity portion. They're doing a schoolyard pick, which they haven't done in a while, Jeff said. Random draw for captains. Yellow team is Sam, Sierra, Kyle, Sue, Rachel, and Teeny. The blue team is going to be Andy, Tiana, Sol, Rome, Caroline, and Gabe. Yellow gets it barely and advances to the individual portion, but now all six are exhausted, and Genevieve is well rested, sitting there, no mud, no wood chips, whatever it was, nothing. She's all good to go. So she should be the favorite in this portion. But in the individual portion, it comes down to Kyle versus Sue. And in a back and forth match, both there, it was a balancing, with the arch thing. And Kyle just squeaks by and wins his first individual immunity over Sue, earns the merge buff as well. And that was good because he didn't have a vote at this tribal either. So he's kind of like, I'm free. Like, he's going to want to be involved in the conversations. Obviously, a few people do know that he doesn't have a vote, but want to be involved in those conversations and relationship building either way. After enjoying the food for the seven, including Genevieve, that won the food reward, they finally start talking about voting. And everyone seems like the majority of everyone is good with getting Rome out, with, kind of causing chaos, stirring the pot. Andy and Caroline want to get rid of the ambulance as well, get it off their hands. Obviously, you need Teeny to agree on that. Seems like because everyone knows about it, target on their backs, just get rid of it. Don't give anyone a reason to say your name to possibly vote you out. Now that Rome's Kyle plan, that he was planting seeds with everyone earlier, is out the window since he had individual immunity. Now he tries to throw Sol's name back out there for the third, fourth time now. He shed a tear talking to Caroline and Tiana. Not sure if they bought it though. And by the way, he was even, kind of laughing like, yeah, it shed a tear, and, talking about how well he's playing and, bringing everyone together. Andy tells Sol that Rome put his name out there saying that he's the only one that's been mean to me. Rome catches everyone else up once they get back from the reward about it being Sol tonight. And everyone's like, all right, like, yep, just keep throwing Sol's name out there. And Sam and Sol do talk about having a backup plan. They said Andy at the food portion, and obviously Sam and Sierra were like, well, we're kind of working with him, but Sam was like at the food reward and here said if it's Andy, it's Andy. But then in this portion to Sol, he did say, I'd rather keep you here. I believe that's what he said. But I believe he said like, I'd rather keep you here. So I'm not sure if he's playing like just in this conversation to Sol, or he possibly is willing to, like, it seems like Sierra has kind of been willing to possibly cut ties with Andy eventually, even though they've been close with him and obviously just pulled off a big blindside with him. But then Rome is bragging about how good a game he's playing, and with all these metaphors. And usually when this happens, when it seems like this obvious of a vote, you're waiting for the the edit, the tone drop, and someone like, oh, let's do this. Like we saw it a couple episodes ago with Genevieve doing the same thing. Like Rome was so confident, and everyone else was confident they were getting him out. And then Genevieve was like, nope, I'm using Rome. We're getting Kashawn out. That vote. So you're waiting for that, and we don't get it. Go to tribal. Interesting tribal. Rome has a nice moment for himself. Obviously, he's an esports commentator. He's able to get up and take Jeff's seat and commentate a little bit of tribal, explaining the amulet advantage. And it was a funny, cool moment for him. I was happy for him. I know he, got a little emotional afterwards and teared up a little bit because of how much that meant to him. So that was cool to see. But Rome is really confident. It's Sol, when he goes up to vote, that he decides to shake things up and vote for Sam. Curious how that'll have repercussions going forward. But Caroline, Andy, and Teeny do all play their amulet. They play it for Teeny, so she is the idol. She's safe. It won't matter anyway. Just wanted to get off their hands, as they said. The votes go Sam, Andy, then the rest were Rome. So Rome ends up going home. Andy says, "Was I during reading the votes?" Andy says, "Was I the backup plan to Sam?" And he's like, "I don't know." Then next week, it looks like Andy possibly going after his old tribe. The girls are trying to get all the guys out. Gabe's wanting to use everyone as a tool to go forward. And then does Soul have something up his sleeve? When we see who voted for who, Sue and Soul actually voted for Andy. Obviously, we know that Rome voted for Sam, so then everyone else voted for Rome. So Rome goes home. But what feathers did that ruffle with the Sam vote out there? Now with Andy receiving 2 votes as well, if he was the backup plan, how does that ruffle his feathers going forward? So I'm interested to see how it all plays out going forward next week, but that'll do it for this Survivor Season 47 Episode 6 recap. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.